Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal. Now, I haven't read it in as much detail as I would have liked, but a cursory reading of the text provided indicates that it is not really new. I don't know if you guys remember the platform Jill Stein was running in when she was running for the presidential race in 2016. This is very similar to something that Jill Stein produced. And I'm not exactly sure if she's the one who came up with this. Jill Stein, I mean. It could have been her with a consultation of lawyers and environmentalists. But this document and the proposals associated with it seem to be very Jill Steinish. So first of all, I'm not even sure if we should give credit or criticism with regards to this to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I think she just, well, not her, but her team pretty much just took it out of that playbook. If you read the document, you can pretty much tell it was written by not Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but I suspect just a group of lawyers because of the intentional vague terminology that has been used. But anyways, this isn't a discussion of the Green New Deal. It is a discussion of the fake news and some really dirty, low-down tactics that is being employed by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her team. For those of you guys who don't know, this is a video clip that I want to say got somewhat viral a few days ago.
Ever pay people who are, quote, unwilling to work?
We never would, right? And AOC has never said anything like that, right? I think you're referring to some sort of document that some doctored document that somebody other than us has been circulating.
Oh, I thought that came right from her. That was in the background or from her office, is my understanding.
No. She's actually tweeted it out to laugh at it. If you look at her latest tweets, it seems that apparently some Republicans have put it out there. I don't know the details.
Good. Well, then thank you for correcting me. I mean, because it seemed a little ridiculous.
The video clip. And apparently people on the Ocasio-Cortez team really got excited. Here we have this tweet. Apparently Tucker was made look like a fool. And as you can see, Ocasio-Cortez herself decided to retweet this because this is such a massive victory for her side. Well, not exactly. See, the Green New Deal, when Ocasio-Cortez's office first published, it was several liberal media platforms who were the first to report on this. The first people who put out Ocasio-Cortez's New Deal was NPR. As you can see, the original was February 7th, I believe, earlier. To the best of my recollection, NPR was one of the first few people to bring out Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal. Now, if you go down, they list the original document. Let's see where we go. So here's we are. Note, Ocasio-Cortez's office released an updated version of the bill on Thursday. The earlier version, which had included in a prior version of the story, is still available here. So Ocasio-Cortez's office, they made changes to the bill. Let's see what changes they have. Now, here's the original version that Ocasio-Cortez's office put up. As you can see, if you go through parts of this, you'd realize the thing about intersectionality coming up. The point that I want to focus on is this. As you can see, a gender wage gap. There's this part. Let's see. Okay, so basically there were statements like this in the old document: to provide unprecedented levels of prosperity and economic security for all people of the United States. So essentially jobs for everyone, I guess. To achieve net zero, to create millions of good high-wage jobs and ensure prosperity and economic security for all people in the United States. So the document, if you guys read through it, does indicate something that Tucker was saying. However, if you go to the NPR's article, and I really think these guys were the first ones to bring out the Green New Deal article. I know MSNBC and CNN, those guys put out, but to the best of my remembering things, I think it was NPR. Now, Tucker was talking about an FAQ associated with this. In addition, the framework as described in the legislation, as well as a blog post containing an updated version of FAQs provided to NPR by Ocasio-Cortez's office, calls for a variety of other lofty goals. So this is the updated version. Now, the original version of the FAQ, when I came back to this article, I could no longer find it. I knew that there was an original version of this FAQ because Roaming Millennial tweeted this out, and I read it. And I remember seeing exactly what Tucker Carlson said. However, NPR did not include the original version. Maybe Ocasio-Cortez's office took out the entire blog post, and then I found a new video by Nuance Bro, and he has far better understanding of the technology here. So here's him going through where the original version of FAQ went.
Calls for a variety of other lofty goals. So let's click this highlighted link blog post. And as you can see, it takes us to Ocasio-Cortez's House website, and it says page not found. Oh, so is this just a messed up link, or was it just a fake link to begin with? Well, luckily, we can actually go to the web archives, and we can check if this was ever a real page or not. So let's take the link here, and let's type it into a Google Cache browser. Now, caching, if you don't know, is where they actually basically kind of store old versions of websites and things like that. So you can actually go and review the history if someone ever sort of changed a page or deleted it. You can actually verify if it ever existed. Well, would you look at that? It's actually real. So we can verify that this is actually a real website, not some fake document. This was put out on their website. Now, as to the claim of unwilling to work, which Tucker Carlson cited and all. So as you can see, this is pretty much the top of the FAQ page. And what do we see here? Economic security to all who are unable or unwilling to work.
Exactly. So the fake news that Ocasio-Cortez and her team has been pushing about how they're complaining that the Republicans have been putting up fake news about the Green New Deal, that claim itself is fake news. The original documents that came, the original words and phrases that were used in the Green New Deal were so embarrassing to AOC and her team that they decided to scrap a lot of the original words, and they decided to put up an updated version of it. Now that is fine. That in itself is not a problem for me. You come out with a draft, even when you send it out to the public, you realize, okay, this is embarrassing, let us revise. But to say that your original document that you put out is put out by your opponent because you're embarrassed by it, this is dirty, low-down tactics. And this is where I think a lot of people on the right are really dropping the ball. You guys who are right-wingers, conservatives, Republicans, whatever it is you call yourself, you guys think AOC and her team is dumb. What she says doesn't make sense. I agree with you. What she says doesn't make sense. But she's not trying to make sense to us. She's not trying to make sense in terms of economics or rational sense. She is speaking entirely in the language of intersectionality, and she is speaking to her base. These low-down, dirty tactics, as terrible and underhanded as they are, does not come from the mind of someone who doesn't know what she's doing. Ocasio-Cortez, I don't think she understands economics. I don't think she understands what the scope of the government should be or what the U.S. Constitution is all about. But I think she understands politics pretty well. And she is communicating with her base pretty effectively using some of the most disgusting tactics I have seen so far. So right-wingers, if you underestimate this woman, you do it at your own peril. Well guys, that's what I had to say. I will talk to you guys soon.